Hello, I'm Player and welcome back to the first episode into Season 3. And we have the opening game of the season today against Moreirense. And we did actually play a few games already, no league games. We did lose in the Super Cup final to Benfica on penalties. And we actually battered them over the 120 minutes. We had 38 shots to their 16, absolutely smashed them, and they ended up beating us on penalty. As you can see, that I think it finished 11-10 on penalties. A good number of takers stepping up. I had to go back round again. But yeah, we did end up losing there on penalties. Champions League, not too bothered about that, but we're looking in a comfortable position to progress through the qualifying stages there, and hopefully should end up in the group stage. The club finances are looking like this. We have spent all the money available to us. We are overspending by about 30,000. No, geez, about 130,000. Well, that's a lot. And the club is still in a considerable amount of debt. Frustratingly, before I go through the transfers, although you might see a few new names there, I can't offload everyone that I want to. As you can see, there's quite a few people listed for transfer, but I just can't get rid of them for various different reasons, which is quite frustrating. I did say I would scout the South American markets, and that's what I was doing, and I was finding quite a large number of good deals I could have picked up for like really good players for about less than 5 million. So the plan was to kind of offload some of our players with the higher values, and then replace them with people with similar level of quality for cheaper prices, but I was struggling to offload them. Anyway, as you can see, on the outgoings, Battaglia moving to Porto for 14 million. Bear in mind, if you look at the finances, we were only getting 30% of those transfers, so not much of that was actually getting put into the budget there. So only a couple of notable outgoings there, a lot of just deadwood players returning from loan, and a lot of youngsters that were never going to make it really. Totaling a combined total of 29 million, and we spent 29.5 million ourselves. I did say I needed a goalkeeper, an attacking midfielder, and I would like a centre back, and that's exactly what we went for. Got Paulo Lopez from AC Milan. However, I believe he's someone else in real life. I think he's at Real Betis in real life. I think he must have signed for Roma in the first season of the game, but I'm pretty sure he's at Real Betis in real life. But he looks a decent wee keeper. Interestingly enough, though, when we actually compare him to our number one from last year, their stats are very similar. Very good stats still, and probably say he's got better stats than Paulo Lopez, who we have just brought in. But if we look at the squad report, we can see there is a difference in there. So quite interesting how that works out. But anyway, good deal on him. He requested to leave, so we picked him up quite cheap-ish, 8 million up front, 18 million a potential fee there. Now, attacking midfield was an interesting one, because there was a few options. I could have picked someone up for 7 million who had very good stats overall, like his tackling was like 12 and stuff like that. He was a Colombian, I can't remember his name, but I did opt for Reina here. I paid an extra 2 million for him compared to other players. He is a wonder kid, not that that's too important, because we kind of need players to come in and do make an impact straight away. But I feel like he can still do that. He is a wonder kid, like I've just mentioned, and I'm sure I've heard of him from real life as well, so he must be linked with some big sides. But very good stats there, and hopefully he should do a decent enough job for us. We did have 12 million left in the bank after the first two signings, and I needed a centre back. I was struggling to find someone with good kind of value for money, so I did kind of just spend all the money we had on Otamendi, who was transfer listed for 11.5 million. I thought I've got the money, I might as well just go out and get him for that. Still very good stats. He is aging a bit, of course, at 33 years old, but I mean, he should be more than adequate for doing a job with us. Very high wages, but because this is the last season of the save, I thought I won't be too bothered about that. So the team lineup going into the first game of the season, we are at home. Pretty much the same side as last year, apart from the three new signings coming into the side: Otamendi, Paulo Lopez and Rainier. Not exactly sure how you pronounce his name, but I think I can't be far off with Rainier, something along those lines. But let's get into it. Last two seasons we have finished 10 points adrift of the champion spot, so I'm hopefully we can actually seal the deal this time around. I feel like we've got the tactics sorted, I feel like we've got the team sorted, and we've got a bit of depth to our squad as well, which always helps. But I am hoping no slip-ups early on, and hopefully we can mount a serious case for beating everyone in the league, really. As we go 1-0 up inside the opening 2 minutes, David Neres with his second goal of the season. It'll be his first league goal of the campaign. I think the frustrating thing from last season was when we played the big sides like Braga, Porto and Benfica, we were giving them a very good game, but then we didn't have the luck to beat them. As we go, that goal's going to be disallowed there by Bergwijn, but almost 2-0 up inside the opening 7 minutes. But I feel like last season the luck just didn't go our way when playing the big sides. We were the better side in most games against them as well. So hopefully this time around we can get the rub of the green and pick up some results against them, which should propel us to the title. So at the end of the season, it would be 20 years without a league title victory for Sporting Lisbon, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But I'm feeling quietly confident that we can end the drought here. I noticed Benfica and Porto also brought in a few decent players over the transfer window. Maybe have a look at their squads after this game, if I remember. But I'm looking forward to it. 20 minutes in here, we are just the one goal to the good. We are smashing them, to say the least, though. And hopefully more goals aren't too far away, because I would like to preferably get this game done and dusted by half time. A second goal would be crucial in doing that, because we don't want any scares early on, especially not on the first day of the season. That would be awful if you were to drop points here. So Hakimi picks up a knock, twisted knee. Do we have a back at right back on the bench? We do. Rosier, I've been trying to offload him for 2 years now. I mean, he's a decent enough player, but because his value is high, I thought I could cash in on him, as there is a youngster that has come through the ranks who I feel like can do an adequate backup job. Right, here we go. A long time without a highlight, but we do have one before half time. We are in possession of the ball. Can we work a chance from it? Hakimi, the man who I'm probably going to bring off at half time, works ball in the field to Wendell, out to the left hand side with Kuna, plenty of space. He finds himself in a crossing position, and it's to the other fullback, Hakimi, who slots it past the goalkeeper at the near post. 2 goals up just before half time, and I know we're only halfway through the game, but that should hopefully seal the result. Hopefully we can add to our lead in the second half, but I won't be too bothered if we don't. Tell the team not to get complacent, just to ensure that. Hakimi with a 97% pass completion ratio. Quite a figure for that opening 45 there. He has played terrifically well, but he is going to come off. Hopefully it's not too serious an injury, but it's taken off as just a precaution. I'm hoping the new signings don't take too long to settle in as well, as Acuna makes it 3 in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Reiner getting himself on the assisting chart, and Acuna just seemed to pick the ball up on the edge of the area there, and he just seemed to waltz his way in. No real pressure applied to him, and the keeper gets a hand to it, but he can't prevent it from going in the back of the net. Approaching the hour mark here, we are comfortably in front. Porto are winning by 1 goal as well, and Benfica are actually losing. Are they playing Porto? I can't see. that's interesting. Very good for us though that Benfica have dropped points so early on in the season. As Acuna's in again, but this time his shot is straight at the goalkeeper. 29 shots, there 3, 17 on target. Dominant performance from us here. 20 minutes ago, I'm going to make a few subs just to mix it up a little bit. We'll bring in Mateus Oliveira as well for Rainer. I do realise I am probably going to pronounce his name a few different things over the course of this final year, so I hope you bear with me. Or if you know how to pronounce it properly, do leave a comment and let me know. But I wouldn't be surprised if you hear me pronouncing his name a few different things. Luis Felipe still to get on off the mark for this current season. Can he do it here? The ball is out on the right hand side. Tonali in a crossing position. Thankfully no bids came in for him in the summer. The ball finds its way to the back post. Bergwijn to Wendell. Acuna. Bergwijn. Now just playing the ball around the edge. Will it find its way into the middle? Rosier goes for goal, but that looked wild and well over. 5 minutes remaining. It'll be well run out. Comfortable 3-0 winners here. Good start to the season considering Benfica have dropped points. And I have remembered to have a look at their teams and see what kind of transfer business they have done. Tell the team that they have done exceptionally well. So let's start off with Benfica since we're here. Just go down their squad just in case they're transferred from previous years that some of you might be interested in. I'll look at the transfers page in a second, but yeah, a lot of names I'm just recognising from playing them over the last 2 years. So they've actually only spent 1.9 million this season. Wow, a lot of outgoings there. Right, that could help us a lot. They have lost a lot of good players there. Wow, 202 million in total. Wow, okay. That is very positive stuff actually. And it's good to see that they've not actually replaced them yet, although the transfer window is still open. But in saying that, they've had money to spend for at least 2 weeks really. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually do bring in anyone else. But that's very good to see. We have strengthened. They have weakened. What have Porto done? Porto looks like they may have strengthened a little bit as well. I say that they brought in Battaglia for most of their like transfer budget that they have spent, and I mean he was brutal really. Well, not okay, that's maybe a bit harsh. He was 2.5 stars when current ability when he was at us. Didn't really get much game time if we look. 10 games, 4 starts, 6 sub appearances. So he was a bit of a bit part player for us. And no name standing out there to me really. Angelino's a good signing on loan there from Man City. And outgoings, not really offloading anyone too crucial to their team. And Mbemba, decent wee player, but I think they will manage to cope without him. Okay, so I'm going to bring this episode to a close. I'll probably come back for a game in September. But thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.